It is Saturday. We're playing a Modern Challenge today with the Elementals deck that we were working on Thursday of this week. We're 13-3 with the deck overall. Deck I've been liking a lot, and I always like to play some of these new brews that have some promise in the weekend challenges. We were actually really blessed this week. We had a lot of decks that were really promising that we could have played, but this was one that I thought was going to be the best positioned for a metagame of like Murktide Scam, Creativity, Hammer. And then miscellaneous. I didn't make any changes from Thursday's list. I was really liking it. I think Recommission is definitely like a good card in the deck. I'm pretty excited about the mana base, how you have all white duals and one plains, and then tribal lands, and the mana base is relatively painless and pretty smooth and untapped and consistent. I think the deck is very powerful, and so it's like Recommission is really good in this deck that's like, you know, just built around like Risen Reef, keeping Risen Reef in play, being able to buy this back, but then it also like lets you have a more meaningful Fulminator Mage plan, which is like gives this deck an attack against big mana strategies that you didn't really have before. Just a very brief recap, and here we go. We are on the draw for the first round of the challenge with a pretty acceptable hand. This hand can turn 2 Fury by Vialing and then Flamekin Harbinger, and on my upkeep pitching Fulminator Mage. We're up against probably Scam, and I really like how, if this is Scam, which is I guess maybe not 100% to be, I really like that I have 2 copies of Blood Moon in my opening hand here to fight through. Sorry, 2 copies of Aether Vial in my opening hand to fight through Blood Moon here. It is not Scam. It is probably Creativity, actually. So the Fulminator Mage will be potentially a good way to attack my opponent here. I'm just trying to think how I'm going to use this Flamekin Harbinger right now. If I'm going to Violet it on my upkeep and get a 2 mana Voice of Resurgence, I guess, really, to play this turn. I think no is the answer. I think no. I'd probably just rather play my Vial. Alright, we'll just play our Vial. Play our 5-color Reflecting Bolt. Sorry about the phone buzzing. Fulminator Mage, obviously, always much worse against a active Rin and 6. Sugar Daddy with the 28 months, thank you. Oh, okay, so my opponent is not playing Creativity. That is really gonna flip how I'm thinking about playing this game. I think I'll just actually Harbinger for another Risen Reef here. So they're just Jund, I guess. No, I should get a voice, I think. I should get a voice and use this to trigger this Risen Reef and then have like a nice blocker in play for, or I could get Thunderkin Awakener and then get back the Harbinger and use and attack the Red and 6. Get back the Risen Reef and trigger this Reef 2 times this turn cycle. Oh right, they hit it with the Ragavan. Of course. Alright, so I guess goodbye, Thunderkin Awakener. We hardly knew ye. So what was I supposed to maybe put like a Fulminator Mage on top and just get that gone? They can't cast it at least. So just playing against Jund. No Gigantha. A lot of good top decks in what I have definitely found to be a good matchup, so we'll see how this goes. Don't really want to cast the Risen Reef into this Ren and 6 this turn. I think I'm going to play my Horizon Canopy, cast an Aether Vial, and be relatively content with being hit with a Ragavan this turn. Obviously, never super ideal to get hit by Ragavan, but it is definitely true that when you're playing a tribal deck like this, Ragavan hits are just like not nearly as impactful against you. And I would like to, if possible, trigger this Ragavan multiple times this turn. Besage you the Vial on 2. Interesting. It's kind of upsetting here that we have our planes in our hands, so if they like pick up the Boseiju, get rid of this Vial, I just don't have a... I would have had another target to get, but I don't. This is why we play the Sacred Foundry, though. It is for Boseiju. Purity with 8 months and Mug with 17. Thank you. I'm sure you are, Anton. Cast Ragavan instead of dashing now. Cast Shadow Spear. And then they didn't pick up the... I guess they just picked up a fetch land instead. I'm going to sack this. This is maybe not correct because I'm, you know, don't have the Vial to go really crazy this turn. But I also don't have as much going on as I maybe like in the first place. Been a weird game so far. Alright, let's cast a Risen Reef. I'm going to leave the Reflecting Pool available. That was a really good hit. Awesome. Okay. So Awakener trigger here. Ephemerate is a huge pickup. So let me attack my opponent's Rin 6. Oof, breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief here. And then I think I should Harbinger for Harbinger. Violent Harbinger. And then, you know, probably get a white card, Solitude Ephemerate, but if I do that now, that assumes I don't. Yeah, I guess I do that now because I don't really want them to trade Ragavan for Thunderkin Awakener on this board. Yes, Reflecting Pool currently taps for 5 colors, no restrictions on those colors. So I think we get Voice of Resurgence to pitch. There's not... I think I'd rather pitch this than Flickerwisp. Wisp is maybe a bit more versatile. And then we stop the Rin 6 from ultimating. My opponent will be able to ping my Risen Reef. I think maybe, just maybe, you could say we got enough value out of it this turn. And Recommission can just buy that Risen Reef right back, thankfully. Ooh. Definitely, like, us hitting Awakener off the Risen Reef trigger was so big. We had a few good hits, but we definitely had to hit well there. Then, like, Boseiju that Vial was also, like, pretty nerve-wracking. Got the Ephemerate on the rebound, Recommission in hand. Kaheera, our hero, to come save us. They play an Urza Saga, so they're not playing Giganta. Likely means they have Fury. Could mean, like, you know, Liliana, Season Pyromancer 2. Maybe Endurance, Force of Vigor. Fury confirmed, Fury confirmed. So they really likely have to kill my Solitude. They probably have to go Solitude, Risen Reef, Harbinger. Oh, they do this and they just ping the Reef. But I can Ephemerate my Harbinger and get another Reef potentially. Recommission a Reef or recommission a Thunderkin Awakener, get back Solitude. That's probably going to be the line I want to take. I'm also going to Fulminator Mage this Saga this turn, especially if I kill the Ren, but probably either way. Okay, Reef. Tick up, tick up. Just start off Violent the Reef. Voice of Resurgence, so I think we may be a little shy of wanting to cast that Voice of Resurgence. But with the extra counter on Thunderkin Awakener, oh, no way! We're going off. We're going off. We can get the other Reef back before we get back Solitude. But this Awakener can... I guess now we're not Fulminator Maging. That's okay. Oh, I can vial in this Voice of Resurgence. Do I have a land to play for turn? I may have a land to play for turn. No, I played the Plains, so yeah, no casting of Fulminator, unfortunately. That's okay. I should have vialed in this Awakener though, but I mean they could just make a Saga token. That's not actually really that big a deal. So I need to make sure I stack these triggers correctly, to where this one resolves first. So this one we click on the Solitude, and then this one on the Reef. These are both going after the Ren. My opponent doesn't have removal. So I think this... Wait, where's the Reef? Oh, there it is over here. Too many triggers, too much going on. Actually, don't need all this value. This deck is sick. Another Recommission, awesome. I think I'm going to Ephemerate this Risen Reef here. Why not? Okay, good pickup. Okay, pickup, I suppose. Guess we sack this Solitude and pass back. Yeah, opponent's like, Fury against the tribal deck? I got him. Ridden 6, Fury against the tribal deck? Good to go. Sandman, 16 months, like, thank you. This seems a bit excessive. It feels a bit excessive sometimes, I suppose. Used to playing one Skelemental. Yeah, I think that one of Skelemental is correct. It's right here in the hand. I would play more if just more black sources were easier to include without really hurting the mana base. Okay, world is just our oyster here. I don't even know. I mean, my hand is just so full. I don't know what I'm even getting off this Harbinger. Maybe I just triple Fulminator Mage them this turn. Oh, I can actually quadruple Fulminator Mage them, but they only have 3 targets. But I can get back a Fulminator Mage with a Thunderkin Awakener. And wait, I have 27 cards in my library. I'm not currently in the worry about decking myself part of the game. Not just yet. Yeah, it's there, Evan. Maybe Kaheera. Maybe Kaheera gets the job done. So I go putting Kaheera in the hand, vialing Kaheera. Flickerwisp the token. Then I attack for 4, 6, 9, 11, 16, 17. Oh, no, this doesn't have haste. So I have to get the Skelemental. I guess Skelemental is more damage than... I think Skelemental is more damage than... Oh, I'm in my upkeep. Skelemental is more damage than Flickerwisp. Could also Solitude. I think Solitude in the token doesn't net me any damage though, because they gain 3 life. If I find a untapped land off these Reef triggers, I can also cast an Awaker for a little bit more damage. Also, any spell my opponent casts, I'm able to... Alright, I guess we might as well. But any spell my opponent casts, I'm going to be able to trigger this Voice. Alright. That was good enough for my opponent. Yeah, that gets a little crazy. So for the most part in the fair matchups, I'm like cutting Fulminator Mages for Endurances. This is likely going to be a little different. So my opponent's playing Jund Saga. You can play like Wispmare and stuff against Jund Saga as like answers to their Saga, but like with Bryn and 6-3 Kerr, they're generally like kind of wanting to fight this like 1-for-1 game. I'm not as sure you want it. Foundation Breaker also kills like Shadow Spear when Wispmare doesn't. That may even be a little bit more relevant. I think I don't like the Skelemental very much on the draw. Flickerwisp can be kind of awkward against Ren and 6, but is kind of okay against their tokens. The Endurances are pretty good. They're not amazing, but they are pretty good. Oh, sorry, I meant to cut all these Fulminator Mages. So this might just be a good plan. It's also possible I'm supposed to play. I kind of want like to play 2 Fury. So maybe I'll play no Flickerwisp, 2 Fury for Solitude. Is Fulminator Mage not just insane against them? No, it's not. Fulminator Mage is not insane against any Ren and 6 deck, especially on the draw. What led me to settle on the deck today over the other 2, which I was considering? I thought that this one had like a really good matchup spread. I think Heliod did too. Heliod did too. I think this deck had a good matchup spread against the Scam, Murktide, Hammer, Creativity, Stock Challenge, Gauntlet. It was very close for me between Heliod and this one. Honestly, like the real factor that made me choose this deck instead of Heliod was that I wasn't sure if I should be playing Laydown Arms instead of, or like Prismatic Ending or Oust or Lightning Bolt in the Heliod deck, and it was that, and I was like very confident in this list, so I think I'll just keep this. Started to mulligan 2 aggressively against Jund. We have 2 Horizon Canopies. We have Harbinger to try to find Reef. Yeah, so when I was like pretty comfortable with this list, and I do feel like the Heliod deck has a little bit more wiggle room, a little bit like less decisiveness in how it's built at the moment. Good evening, Acidic. Don't Tarmogoyf me, please. Pithing Needle. So I'm gonna name Aether Vial or Horizon Canopy. Okay, that's fine. I'll probably draw a Vial this turn, though. Nope. Happy enough to draw a 2-drop. I've actually been like really impressed with Voice of Resurgence. That I actually like. I haven't said about this about Voice in a long time, but I feel like Voice is actually pretty good at the moment. Just like so much Rakdos and blue-red. You mean the mono white one? I was splashing red for Ragavan in the Heliod deck. We had a really good record with that deck this week. We were 12-3 with it on stream, and I was liking it a lot. And I was going into like Wednesday thinking I was locked in for that deck for the challenge, and then we had a really good day with this deck too. So I wish I could play both. Unfortunately, the Sunday challenge starts a little bit too early for me tomorrow, and it's also true it's very difficult for me to actually stream 7 days a week and maintain playtesting off stream and channel Fireball commitments and giving Esther her quality time. I don't know if I'm supposed to Kaheera in my hand or hold up Ephemerate or crack a Canopy. I think I'll just Kaheera in the hand. Opponent, kind of with the non-draw. Okay, pretty smooth round 1. There are 7 rounds today. I would snap keep if this hand had 1 more land. Because I could get Fulminator Mage, Fulminator Recommission, Fulminator. Let me mulligan. Just like knowing that Punt is almost definitely going to be playing Titan. Okay, I really dislike that we have all tribal lands here, but I will keep a Fulminator on the play against Punt. Punt is on Jund Cat recently. That's true. Maybe like if Punt is on Jund Sack, then we get got here, but looks like that's not the case. Could maybe honestly hold this Awakener to Fury, kill a Dryad or something. Yeah, I saw the list, King Dub. I saw it. Spike gets lost in the sauce? Yeah, maybe. Something like that. Along those lines. Obviously not in great shape. Can only recommission... Okay, so we can actually recommission Thunderkin Awakener, Fulminator Mage with Kaheera. If we go Kaheera in the hand, cast Kaheera, this will let us start recommissioning. It's probably going to be a bit too slow here, though. But maybe if I draw a red card next turn, I can Fury Dryad. And maybe not. Yeah, I guess I just kind of need my opponent to not have a bounce land, probably. I did draw the red card. So let me go ahead and name Cat Beast. Let's name Beast. Well, I guess the problem is also that this is going to be able to make a token to block my Kaheera, even if my opponent has nothing. No double green here also. Interesting. I guess so if I want to cast Recommission this turn, then I have to name Cat or Beast on this again. I'll just name Beast. Kind of awkward to have to do this, but I think it's fine. Because I think I want to be able to recommission the Awakener post combat, and then it'll be a 3/4 and can get through the construct token going forward. So we kind of have to fade, like probably a green source for a turn or two, which is maybe asking a lot. Alright, damage dealt, kill this. But now my Awakener will be 3/4. I can actually even get back Fury if I want to. That might be lethal next turn. 8 plus... It's 1 short? Damn it. And my opponent can also double strike to kill my Awakener. But they draw the extra green. They draw the extra green, unfortunately. Obviously, can't count on that to brick forever. What do you think of doing a stream where you look at cards and old sets? I feel like a lot of cards that could be good tomorrow and just get buried. I mean, that's what I do like off stream all day, every day. But it's not good content on stream, I promise. So this is 1 mana short of Transmute for Titan Cast Titan, but probably not something that Punt is missing. Just has Cultivator in hand. There are fresh eyes in the stream. Might be something you miss. Maybe. I promise it's not good content to just scroll through the like 20,000 cards that are modern legal. It's not. It's just not good. I promise. Like this, the way that the stream works, because like I'm always practicing and I try to keep things fresh and exciting, and mindlessly scrolling through every modern legal card, I promise is not going to be as interesting as you think. Okay, they can at the very least transmute Slayer West here. Okay, yeah, we're a Fulminator Mage Solitude deck. Flickerwisp was also pretty good against them, but we're bringing the Wispmare, Foundation Breakers. I don't think I want the Ingot Chewer. Could play Ingot Chewer. I think I want to cut all the voices. So maybe I might want to play second Fury also over first Ingot Chewer. I think both seem okay. I want all the recommissions. Let's play first Ingot Chewer. Do you think there are a lot of diamond and rough cards out there that don't see play a modern? I mean, of course, right? Because like that's my entire stream that I've been doing for more than 3 years, is playing underutilized cards, underutilized strategies, combinations of cards. That's my entire career, my entire life, all day, every day. Because everyone in modern, all 100%. Besides me, play Blue-Red Murktide, and and there's a lot of other cards in the format besides Murktide and Expressive Iteration and Ragavan. That's just my whole career for years and years and years. Can't easily draw land, but it's pretty good if it draws a land, so let's keep. I guess it's awkward that we have double red-white land and Risen Reef too. But we have Awakener for Saga. We have Solitude potentially. We can maybe set up Kaheera, Fulminator Mage, Awakener again. Aether Vial is nuts. I play Aether Vial is great in this deck. I don't know. It's good. I usually like to be a little less reductive than that, but I'm trying to play the focus of the match. I guess we can talk more about it later. This is toughness, right? Yeah, so it doesn't bring back Wispmare. Alona's 2 months. People have a really negative opinion on Aether Vial because Humans is like a really mid deck. That's kind of my take, I guess, is that Humans is really mid, and people's opinion on Aether Vial really stems from Humans and how mid it is. I think I killed that response to the trigger. Or I could have just Wispmared it though, and then kept this for a bounce land. It's kind of frustrating. However, I can Kaheera in the hand here, then set up Thunderkin Awakener, Fulminator Mage starting next turn. No, don't Bajuka Bog me. Damn it. Okay, kind of a big draw step. I guess mostly I'm just looking for a land in this spot. Just get another Fulminator. Mana's pretty awkward this game, unfortunately. It is nice to have the Solitude here. It's nice to be drawing Fulminator Mage. Kaheera to maximize mana. The thing is, like, I think it's just better to get Fulminator Mage this turn than Kaheera start the loop again next turn. Colossus just always gets me. Although, maybe they only have 2 lands in their hand. We'll see. Damn it. I yield. Alright, round 2 of the challenge. We are round 3 of the challenge. We're currently 1-1. We beat Jund Saga, lost to Titan. And I'm going to keep this hand. I like this hand a lot. Always love being able to Vial and Flamekin Harbinger on my upkeep on turn 2. Getting my Vial Inquisitioned, not Thoughtseize. I'm assuming this is what they take. But I'll just draw another one. Aether Vial off the top. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. No such luck. Really needed this Vial. I also really need to draw a 3rd land, so I think I am just going to wait on the Harbinger here. Can't rise. Oh, I didn't realize Resin Shrine was only non-creatures. Okay, that makes me a lot less excited about it. Going to see Nimoto coming for paper. Do you think it's still worth it? How is the price compared to paper cost? I mean, I use a rental service that I think is an amazing deal. I use Mana Traders, and I think it's Jund again. I use a rental service. It could be creativity, maybe. They sometimes play Inquisition. I think it's bad, but they do sometimes play it. I think a rental service is a great way to get into Magic Online. You can play any deck you want for a low cost, or relatively low cost compared to the price of a modern deck. No, challenges are like just not really high enough stakes to use a hand hider. Please don't ghost me though. Mishra's Command. So this is like the Persist Archon deck. Mishra's Command is so bad, I think. I think this card is not really very playable. Need to draw land. Needed to keep that Aether Vial in my opening hand, and I have failed to do either of those 2 things. I think I'm just going to cast this Thunderkin Awakener, and wish that I had a Vial right now. If they creativity, I have Solitude, which is nice. And then hopefully I can draw land and just start Fulminator Maging them. Got a bunch of Orvars in the sideboard too, which is very nice here. Unfortunately, I don't have, I haven't drawn a white source for Recommission. I don't think I'm supposed to Flamekin Harbinger for anything here either. Maybe just getting like an extra point of damage this turn is worth it. But our draw has been like pretty dopey. But thankfully, you know, the Solitude is a key piece of interaction, and thankfully my opponent's playing Mishra's Command, which I think is just so dopey. Okay, so they're dealing 2, discarding 2, drawing 2. Artifact cantrips like Chromatic Sphere's Fire. I don't think I like them very much. There's something to think about though. Land, ideally not a tribal land, would be great. Okay, I'll play the Harbinger and not get anything. Feels bad to, you know, keep 2 land on the draw, never draw land. That's magic. So if they have Titan in their deck, we'll make hardcast a Titan here. Okay, we do have... if we draw a white source, we can actually recommission Flamekin, a Thunderkin Awakener, and Solitude the Archon. Not that white source, though. That being said, we'll still play it out here. We could also draw Solitude off the Risen Reef trigger. Just discard the Fulminator Mage at this point. Aether Vial, rubbing it in. Really rubbing it in here. They have 3 cards in their hand. They're going to draw it up to 4. Bitter Reunion. Discard Swamp. Every Magic player's favorite card, Bitter Reunion. Also, now that we have 3 lands in play, all of our white fast lands are tapped now, so we actually don't have that many untapped white sources in the deck. We have 3 Canopy lands and 1 Shockland, 1 Plains. But we have, again, we have a bunch of Orvars in the sideboard. It's kind of a sad draw. Bring in the Orvars. I'm going to bring in the Endurances, I think. 4 Endurance is kind of a lot. I'm going to cut the Skelemental since they are a persist deck. I'm going to cut the Fury. I'm going to cut the Flickerwisp. I like the Solitudes. Usually when I bring in the Endurances, I cut the Fulminators. Fulminator on the play is pretty good though, but maybe it's just not where we want to be. They're probably a Red and 6 deck anyways. I think the voices are fine. Yeah, Reflecting Pool is a white source. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 white sources, which I think is like about the bare minimum in this deck. Gotta say, Mishra's Command did not look that good. Yeah, Mishra's Command is terrible. I don't really know why people are playing it. It's like, when you compare it to Fable, Prismari Command, Shadow, I'm probably not Shadow Prophecy as much, but even Shadow Prophecy, Bitter Reunion, like just Bitter Reunion and Fable are enough discard outlets for your deck. Ooh, we're on the play, so we actually get to stick this Aether Vial. Good hand, good hand. Yeah, that's true. I think at the moment modern players maybe overvalue versatility a little too much. Bjorn, 6 months, thank you. I think I'm gonna probably in-step Violet Harbinger get a Risen Reef instead of like being able to expose. If I upkeep Violet Harbinger, I don't even get an extra damage, and I also don't I do expose the Risen Reef to a discard spell. But any card, they should take the Recommission. Yeah, they should take Recommission because either Elemental, I'm just going to Recommission it this turn probably, and it'll come with an extra counter than it would otherwise. I guess playing that does give my opponent perfect info, so if they have another discard spell, they're definitely not casting it this turn. Have I brewed the food package with Reanimator lately? Not lately. Obviously, like you could do that with the Steel Seeker shell. I think it's probably fine. I think it's worse than like the Trash for Treasure version probably, and I think it's also probably worse than other Reanimator variants and like the regular food deck. So That is why I haven't been super excited to play it, I guess. I can also get Orvar here. I don't love that, like, if I get Orvar here, though, they know that I have it. And then I am just going to go ahead and cast the Reef. I know by casting the Reef, they can just kill with Ren and 6, but Reef in the graveyard in this deck is nice because you have Recommission and Thunderkin Awakener. Now I could potentially Ephemerate Harbinger in my upkeep and get like a Awakener or something. I can also Ephemerate Flamekin Harbinger, get an Orvar, sack Canopy, put Orvar into my hand next turn. So that may be something I end up doing. Bit of reunion, huh? Discarding Archon. Okay, so we'll try to do the Ephemerate play. Potentially. See what we draw. Nothing too helpful, so we'll kill Ren and 6, poke them for 1. And hope my opponent puts an Archon into play this turn, and hope that they don't have a Lightning Bolt. Okay, so Ephemerate, Flamekin Harbinger. Search for Orvar. Draw the Orvar. Creativity resolves. Sack. Voice. Discard. Copy. By Kaheera. I think this line was a little bit better than putting Kaheera into my hand. I think this line was... Oh, we could have vialed in the Reef, too. I think this line was a little bit better than Kaheera in the hand. Cool. To game 3. Alright. No lands, no Orvars, no keep. Guess this can be an Orvar. Okay, I like this hand enough to keep it, so we will click the keep button, put back the Ephemerate. Yeah, creativity variants are pretty popular right now, so I'm definitely very high on the old Orvar. I'd love to draw another one here, but we just have to keep this on 6. This is like really not even, in my opinion, a negotiable 6, and that's fine. Although, you know what? I'm gonna tutor Orvar here. I'm gonna tutor Orvar here. Good luck. If they thought sees it, we get to copy something, which is cool. This hand is really good at like just recurring Risen Reef for a lot of value. So like even just, you know, using these to get the Orvar in hand, if they don't do anything, I can recoup the value. Yeah, it's a changeling, so you can tutor with any tribal tutor. So Goblin Matron, Merfolk Matron, Human Matron, all work. All right, just on time, Aether Vial. If they thought he's my Orvar, I can copy Harbinger and just get another Orvar. And maybe they boarded in creatures that don't get Orvar'd, but also maybe they didn't, huh? Okay, so do I want to vial this turn? I think I want to vial this turn instead of recommissioning the Reef, because I would prefer to go recommission, Reef, and then trigger it again instead of just triggering it one time if possible. Getting the vial in is also somewhat relevant. I'm gonna block this, I guess. It's worse if they thought sees me. Yeah, I'll take it. Brothers are dead, kill an Aether Vial, deal. Okay, so did not draw. Help. My opponent's already played 2 2 lightning bolts, but we can just hold up the endurance now. Maybe I'm letting them like Mishra's command me by waiting. Yeah, let's just play this now. Why not Recommission Awakener and then Risen Reef? If they have a removal spell on the Awakener, then I don't get any cards. This is a guaranteed card. So they might creativity on 3 here. No. Hmm. Interesting. Pick up. How does one Orvar work with 2 Archons? You only get to discard it once, and if you don't have creatures to sacrifice, usually you want to try to discard it last. So like on the second trigger if you can. Okay, Archon in the yard. If they persist, do I even Endurance? I think yes, I Endurance here because I want this to be able to counter a creativity. So because I think they're probably going to try to persist and creativity this turn. It's funny to like have a persist on an Archon in the stack, and I'm like, do I even Endurance this right now and draw a card off Reef? Just having this as like the insurance policy seems like the right line. This card is so hard for them to play around, so hard for them to beat. Kind of like blocking here, getting a giant creature, triggering the Reef. Like that draw. And the creativity X equals 3. I think they lose if they do that. They probably just don't have another line. I sack Harbinger, Endurance, and then I get to kill. Oh, they have an Emrakul. I can copy Emrakul. Do I copy Emrakul? Yes, please. Listen, we didn't come here today to not copy Emrakul. Can Solitude there, Emrakul. They have to block. Ooh, what does Recommission do for me here? Okay, so I can go Kaheera into my hand. Pitch Solitude, Recommission Awakener, buy back Solitude. Opponent, I'm so nice. Here's 15 life for you. Still better to Recommission first. I didn't think I would be putting an Emrakul trigger on the stack today either. I did not think I'd be putting an Emrakul trigger on the stack today. Where did Emrakul? This is a Orvar copying their Emrakul that they creativitied into. This is easily the craziest turn I've had all week. This deck's pretty good. This deck's pretty sick. I don't know. Above average turn, huh? Above average turn. Screenshot for Twitter. The problem with the screenshot for Twitter is like people can't see that I pitched Solitude, recommissioned Solitude, ephemerated Solitude to get rid of 2 Archons and an Emrakul. But I do have an Emrakul in play here. I guess I could just caption that on Twitter. Yeah, maybe. No, nobody has ever clicked on a Twitch link, a Twitch clip link on Twitter. I don't know. They never do very well. Sand is like 1 land away from being a snap keep, and does not have that. So I'm gonna mulligan. I'm gonna go to 5, and feel okay about my 5. I think I'm going to put back Basic Plains and... Basic Plain, I can't cast the Reef off this mana, so I have to draw a land anyway, so I'll put back that and Fury. See what we draw. I thought you didn't like Skelemental. I don't like Skelemental and like Rakdos mediocre unearthed deck, but it is good in this shell with Thunderkin Awakener and Recommission, and as a 1 or 2 to target for a Harbinger. Run the draw. Against a Wooded Foothills. Obviously, it could be a lot. I mean, if it's just creativity again, maybe we just Orvar them to death like we did our last round opponent. Don't have Orvar main deck, and I am wanting to draw land, so I'll just go ahead and play my Vantage and pass back. Another spot where Harbinger into Florhedron is not a bad line. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but it's also like, you know, you get to say that in the chat. You get to say that in the chat and feel very smart. But then, if I'm the one registering Florhedron, then I'm the one that has to draw it and like lose games because I've drawn Tangled Florhedron. But maybe it comes up enough. I don't know. Orvar is so powerful in exactly one match. Yeah, people have been saying this actually like online a lot lately about how like, why do you want Orvar? It's just for 1 matchup. Like, you literally sideboard for only 1 matchup in Modern all the time. There are cards in your sideboard, like, they're just dedicated for Murktide, just dedicated for Hammer Time, just dedicated for, you know, Blood Moons. That's, like, literally so common. I've been a bit confused about this trend of criticizing Orvar for only being against 1 matchup. And, like, creativity is also, like, a super popular challenge and a super popular tournament deck. A fan of Gora's Vengeance Brews is still worth building. The Shadow Prophecy Leyland Binding, I like that deck. I think it would be a fun one to pick up and learn. Yeah, there are also now more than 1 Archon matchup. That's true. There's, like, the Through the Breach version, the Persist versions, but... I don't know. It's you can build the deck any way you want. Okay, Scion means I'm not chump blocking super effectively here. I may just block anyways. No, we'll let this hit me. I really want to draw Solitude. Solitude would be so nice here, or Fury, I guess. Which is 5 outs here. No, you're good, Skullclamp. I wasn't really responding to you so much as I've been responding to, like, this has just been a super common, like, thing said on Reddit, you know. Sideboard card for just 1 matchup, you know. This matchup is also pretty good, I think, the Domain Zoo matchup. We did mulligan to 5 here, so we're somewhat likely to lose game 1, but we can win our sideboard games. And if my opponent is kind of light on action here, I can take 9 and I can Flamekin Harbinger, Solitude, and go from there. Yeah, like I don't know. I think you can look at any modern sideboard card and any modern sideboard rather, and the majority of cards in the sideboard will be for only 1 matchup. Oh, I love Rockrick. So if they're playing Bloodbraid Elf, they probably don't have any counter magic in their main deck, right? Hexproof and monocolored is very good against us. I really wish I could kill my own Harbinger. Oh, I drew an Ephemerate. Let's go. All right, I mean, the Ephemerate is like by far our best, or one of our best draws. Okay, so draw Solitude. Stack these triggers right. So evoke last, target Scion, trigger Risen Reef before we Ephemerate. Exile Scion. Okay. Definitely like that. I can Fury now. If I want to, I guess. Maybe I don't want to. Yeah, I think I'll just cast this and get another Risen Reef on top of my library and stack it like this so that I can maybe just put a land instead and play this turn. Did a burn spell. Did do burn spell, but it's okay. Got some game in this matchup. Could be yet again cutting the Fulminators, bringing in the rest of the Furies, and Wispmare. I think I just played 2 Foundation Breakers, since Foundation Breaker can deal with Leyline Binding or Scion, and this can only deal with Leyline Binding. This can only deal with Scion. Can't recommission it though, but that's okay. I think the Wisp is fine. I'm a bit scared of Rockrick, but what are you gonna do? Mold the 5 that game, was on the draw that game. I think we did as well as we could. If our Awakener that was in our hand was a white card, though, we could have tutored up a Solitude with our second Harbinger and like Solitude something to gain life, but it's hard to like also like pretend like we could realistically wish that turn had gone any better. Yeah, Orvar is for creativity. We actually had an awesome turn last match where my opponent creativity to Archon. I ephemerated my Flamekin Harbinger to get Orvar, and then I sacked a Horizon Canopy to draw the Orvar and copied the Archon and win the game. And then the game after that, my opponent creativity into Orvar, or sorry, they creativity into Archon, Emrakul. I discarded Orvar, copied Emrakul, untapped, put Kaheera into my hand, evoked Solitude, exiled Emrakul, recommission, Thunderkin Awakener, bring back Solitude, exile Archon, ephemerate Solitude, exile another Archon. It was just like the best turn I've ever had. Alright, we're gonna keep this. Sandy's draw land or red card, and I think that's fine on the play. Or Solitude would be a good draw too. One of Fulminator snipe them off the main. You could. I think it's probably a bit too narrow. I think you mostly just want to control their creatures. Could obviously play the Thunderkin Awakener, but I think holding it for a red card if I miss on the land next turn is probably more relevant. Did opponent play the wrong fetch turn 1? Probably not. I don't know, maybe. Blood Moon seems good against this mana base. Yeah, it is. Aether Vial is good against Blood Moon. It's okay. Can't get Xander's. Yeah, maybe that's what's happening. Get Indatha instead. Sounds like we got some Domain Zoo fans in the chat today. Yeah, I think that's maybe a good read. Get y'all. Ooh. Yeah, maybe we're playing too many Vantages. It's obviously like only bad with Risen Reef, and we have red and white 1-drops. It's okay. We still have the Fury Awakener plan. We're not doing so bad, but. Is 2 mana Unearth good? This is more than 2 mana Unearth. The +1 counter in this deck is super relevant because the +1 counter on Awakener lets you buy back Solitude, Fulminator Mage. Additionally, the fact that this is white lets you build the mana base this way. I know this is maybe not the best time to talk about the mana base, but calling it 2 mana Solitude is just a bit reductive. I think I'm just going to play Thunderkin Awakener and pass, hold up Solitude Ephemerate at this point. And if this dies, I could potentially recommission this and buy back Solitude. But I may take a hit from this Kavu. Thoughts on Thunderkin, Rage Forger, Shaman's List seems spicy. It is spicy. I usually think those versions are not that good, though. But again, being able to play Recommission and Ephemerate as your white spells, and then you have a mana base of white lands and tribal lands, lets you like have this like very difficult 5-color mana base function in a way that is tricky to have it function. Ooh, Bloodbraid into Shardless, everybody's wet dream. Into Another Kavu. Okay. So we can go Solitude, Ephemerate, exile, Bloodbraid, Kavu, rebound, exile the... I think I'm pitching Recommission. I would love to Recommission the Awakener though. And start buying back Solitude. Yeah, let's do that. Sorry, Kaheera. You've never been pitched to a Solitude before. Alright, so any tribal land is really good. Horizon Canopy is a good draw too. We have a lot of good top decks here, including that one. Let's just go ahead and pass back. And I think if my opponent attacks Charlotte's Agent, am I double blocking? I'm not sure. I want this Thunderkin Awakener and the Solitude to die so I could recommission the Awakener and just buy it back every turn. Alright, another Charlotte's Agent maybe? Okay, Helix. So let's assume they go Helix on Solitude. I mentioned on this Caleb stream, Solitude is more problematic than Flat Swords of Plowshares would have been. This is, in my opinion, not true. It's not an uncommon opinion either. But I disagree with it, really. Swords of Plowshares would be so incredibly format warping, it'd be unreal. Solitude currently sees play in like 3 or 4 decks. This may be format warping, I don't know. Bit worried about Lightning Bolt, I guess. Lightning Bolt, I guess. So if I had Ephemerated in response and played around Lightning Bolt, we would be in really good shape here. We're not in such bad shape, especially if we draw a land for Risen Reef or a red card. You know, honestly, this whole like Solitude better than Swords of Plowshare thing is another super common opinion that I disagree really hard with. Like, one of the biggest things is, like, usually, like, when you play Ragavan and your opponent Solitudes it, like, that's a good exchange for you as the Ragavan player, and, like, yeah, I don't know, it's a pretty common, and people also say that they say this too a lot. They literally printed Swords of Plowshares, and it's not literally Swords of Plowshares. Okay, may die here, but I'm going to Risen Reef, and if I draw a red card, all will be well. If I don't draw a red card or Solitude, we're not amazing shape. Yeah, Swords is so splashable. Solitude has like really big deck building restrictions too. That's another good point. Okay, so how much damage? I guess I can block. I can block an Ephemerate, but they have trample on both of their creatures, so that doesn't even do anything. So maybe I was supposed to Ephemerate my Risen Reef and try to find a red card. Now I have to Ephemerate my Risen Reef and try to find a Solitude. And now I'm dead. Yeah, I know they have trample. I know they have trample. I said that. Tough game, tough game. Kind of stumble a little bit. I may mess with the mana a bit. I might have too many Inspiring Vantages. That happened like 2 or 3 times today. That didn't happen so much the other day. I think I'm also going to 2/2 drop this challenge and work on this off stream tonight or tomorrow. I will say one thing about Swords. Snapcaster would be